Best Podcast Ever is sponsored by the Gertzberg Law Firm, a full-service business law firm in Cleveland and Chagrin Falls that's changing the way businesses retain their attorneys. Go to gertzberglaw.com to learn more. While you're there, check out Cover My Six, a complete legal audit of the 6 areas that most often create or prevent business lawsuits and government investigations. Go to covermysix.com to learn how we keep you safe. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to listen to the best podcast ever recorded.
Come on in, the water's great.
Hi, Molly Gebler and Nellie Gertzberg-Selby.
Hi, Alex Gertzberg.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, my goodness. We have a special banter guest
We
today.
do.
How
We
exciting.
do. Airplane mode, folks.
Yes, thank you.
Special banter guest.
How are you, Nellie Gertzberg-Selby and Molly Gebler?
I'm great. How about you?
Good.
How about you
Fantastic.
guys?
I'm great.
Yeah,
lovely.
did you guys have a great Memorial Day?
I had so much fun at the Gertzberg Law Firm 5th annual Blossom Time party, which was also at the same time as my first Chagrin Falls Blossom Time Festival.
The first
Molly,
ever.
that's such a big party you
That's
throw.
a big. Well, the
And Alex.
JCs.
They get the credit for
the
Blossom
Chagrin Valley
Time?
JCs. Yes, absolutely.
Here, JCs.
Absolutely. We do answer the phone for every single solitary question that the world has about Blossom. But no, that is definitely the hard work of the amazing volunteering JCs.
That's a really impressive thing to find in Little Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
It is. It kind of takes over the whole
You know, I go
community.
around and I tell people that Blossom Time is just a little slice of down-home Americana, isn't it?
It is. It is.
People within the sound of my voice really ought to check out, I don't know if there's a Facebook page or what, but like Blossom Time it's like every small town festival except on steroids.
Yes.
Right?
For sure. Yeah, they did. Somebody did a live coverage of the parade. So
Really?
you can watch the
If I can
parade
find a
in its
link, I'll be sure to
entirety.
include that.
Yes, it's on my Facebook page. You could take it from
Nellie,
there.
did you see Molly when she came back, when she came to our party?
That's
after
the only
parade?
time I saw her.
You know,
this
you're just so used to me always being put so together and beautiful that it's shocking to you.
I
that
thought
90
I thought
degrees.
you've never been more beautiful.
Dude, it was...
I've never been so wet and slimy in my life.
I
Molly,
like
you were-
Dirty Molly.
You were a vision. You were a vision.
And then hanging out at Alex's house last night, I was on the border of getting there again.
Was that your first time at his house?
That was.
You like it?
I love it.
It's
Nice
cute.
little pad.
Yeah, you know, I always have said I wanted to go to be in the sauna, but I think just
You just
because
sat in the
outside
backyard.
was a sauna, I was in the sauna. So that was super fun, super
glad-
impromptu gathering.
Yeah.
We wished you could be there, Nellie.
Yeah. You were invited.
Oh, at
You went
Alex's
to,
house.
You went to
Yes.
get Dairy Island, Civics Dairy Island.
Well, you know, air quotes, the greatest thing that ever happened to me. The baby kind of
Yes.
limits my social life.
It does, but your baby was invited. It's not like we didn't invite the baby.
Yeah, but
too.
he's a much more pleasant baby when he gets his full sleep.
Can I say
That is
something?
true.
And I made this
Please.
comment to Molly yesterday. I don't know any moms out there that are as rigorous about their child's nap time as you are.
and
You
that
are
was
very-
shocking to me.
You keep
Really?
it strictly enforced, Nellie.
You know,
Good for
I
you.
want to teach him to be flexible, and we really did at first, but I also realized that my life is easier when he's happy and well rested and not hungry, and it just, you know.
Yeah, I just felt you were a free to be type of go with
Crack
the
that whip.
flow type of
You know, it's a
person,
lot
and now I'm
easier to
learning.
go with the flow and be free when your baby's not cranky.
That is true.
So, you know, we make sacrifices. I kind of feel like I did my retirement and had my fun years throughout my 20s and early 30s. And now it's time to grow up and be
I
a
missed
mom.
all those times.
See, now you get to party because you
I
did them
missed all
already.
that. Yes, yeah.
You did the work already.
Well, you did a great job for the party. So I do have to share something that went on this past weekend, and I know I shared it with Alex, but I think it's worth saying again because this girl is quite spectacular.
Please.
So there's a little girl named Savannah Solis, which we will get for the podcast. She lives in Tyler, Texas. And in 2015, she saw a news report on the 2 police officers that were murdered in Brooklyn. They were in their car.
Ambushed.
Yes. Yeah. From the back, right? Is that execution style? So she was devastated. She was 10 at the time, devastated by the news, and said to her mom that she needed to do something. So she started making thank you cards, super simple, handwritten inside, and she does little hearts that she cuts out for the front. She made 100 of those, and through her church, she got in contact with the New York PD. She told them what she wanted to do and give out the cards to everybody, and JetBlue got involved as well, and they flew her out to New York, and she ended up handing out these cards to all these police officers.
At 10 years old.
At 10 years old.
So that's hard news to process, particularly at that young age.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And then to take action.
And she did. She did. So she made it her mission at that point that she was going to thank as many police officers around the world as she could. So coming back to here at Chagrin, one of our board members' wives saw the same little news clip and in 2015 and said, if this girl could be doing something, making a difference and thanking first responders, that we here in Chagrin Valley need to do that. So they hosted and came to the chamber, which started the first We Salute Our First Responders event.
That's the work of Joe and Bob Royer.
Joe and Bob Royer, yep.
And they made it an official something.
Correct. So then this year they took it further and they got House Bill 44 signed, which makes May 24th every year the official First Responders Appreciation Day. Yes.
Well, and you can draw a line from that little girl to that.
So that's the point. Yeah. So, and we talk about that a lot on our podcast is, you know, one person really truly can make a difference. And this girl in Tyler, Texas helped us start we started it because of her. End of story. So at this point, she has made over 6,000 cards. She's been around the world. She's spoken at the Buckingham Palace, Yankee Stadium, and on and on and on. So we found her. We flew her in this weekend. We shocked the crap out of Bob and Joe Royer in front of a whole entire assembly at the PAC, the Performing Arts Center in Chagrin Falls. We picked her up in a South Russell cruiser from the airport. We took her on a tour with a 1957 police Chevy, the Orange Police, South Russell Police, Bainbridge Police, Moreland Hills Police, brought her to their stations, treated her like royalty. She drove in a SWAT car. There's one amazing picture, which I will get you, of her standing on top of a SWAT car. Jekyll's did a gorgeous meal when she first arrived. Burntwood Tavern hosted a lovely dinner for her. Junction Auto gave her a car for the weekend. Hotel Indigo housed them.
How old is she now?
She's now 13.
Oh, what does she need a car for?
Her dad came with her.
Okay.
Her dad came with her. Just an inspiration, but what a weekend to bring her here.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, of course, we told her that this is how Chagrin is every weekend, Blossom time. But just crazy inspiration about, you know, taking action. And how it's impacted lives all over the world. And that's just our little story.
Let's have her on, because what I would want to know is what's next. What do people at home do? What is she going to do in the future? Let's find this all out when we get her on.
She does have a challenge, Savannah's challenge, and she does want to be a police officer for sure. But yes, we need her as a guest. She'd be happy to do it. It would be via phone, but we're going to become very quickly professionalized.
We plan to have some phone interviews coming up.
Yeah, some big ones.
What would be really cool is if we challenge the students in like Chagrin Falls and Kenston and, you know, like maybe even just the essay contest school districts to do something even remotely meaningful as that, right? But just so that her path
Continuing
that she
her work.
started can multiply even further, right?
And it's really just her mission is to thank a police officer.
Right, but what I'm saying is, okay, what if based on her starting down this path, everyone in Chagrin Falls School District sent a thank you card to a cop?
So how about that essay contest winner?
Wow.
I'm so proud.
Jeremy
Speaking
Cavanaugh.
of parties.
Jeremy Cavanaugh.
The first ninth grader to win the contest.
Crazy.
That dude beat out 1,500 students.
Crazy.
1 out of 1,500. You know what that math works out to?
Yeah, I have no idea, nor do I care.
Oh no, you're about to find out regardless. He was in the top 0.06%.
It was a very controversial topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
But also a
GLBT
very-
discrimination, which I learned yesterday that Q does not mean queer.
What?
Yeah. Didn't you think it
Absolutely.
was?
What
yeah.
does it?
Molly,
They changed its question.
it's question.
Oh.
Although maybe we
GL
should confirm that before we're flinging those like we know.
Is that Robbie Sapp right there?
Maybe we should.
You know what? We should get Rob to confirm it.
He has arrived.
Rob, just
maybe
come.
probably
Just
not.
what? No.
What the heck?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we were listening
cyber
to you
stalking
sing
you.
happiness.
What's up, man?
You were, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
How are you? Good to see you too.
Rob, you want something to drink? You want some wine?
Sure.
I knew you were
Said I
going to say
wasn't
that.
going to,
I knew
but
you were going to say that.
you're having some, so I thought I would
Well,
have some.
here, let's finish our essay conversation
Should
before.
I bring anything? You're having wine. We have cookies. You want cookies?
Oh yeah, I could bring some cookies.
Sure.
I'm never
The
going to
answer to
say
that
no.
question is
I am
always yes.
never
What are we,
going to say
communists?
no
Of
to
course
a
we'll take
cookies. Are those chocolate chip ones from the? Oh yeah, bring those.
Delicious.
Those are
I think I
very
had
good.
about 3 of those.
I
This was
doubt it.
at
At the
doubt
party?
it.
the party.
Did you enjoy yourself
It was
at the party?
Oh, I
It was a-
loved it.
It was a rager, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was awesome.
It was
the time
awesome.
flew by too.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a rager. What's so funny about rager?
I don't know.
That's what the
I
cool
don't
kids
know.
say, Molly.
Yeah, if you're from 1987,
Well,
I don't
mean,
think rager is a word anymore,
It was-
Chief.
back then it was called a kegger.
Yes,
Yes.
that is true. That is
I still
true.
say rager all the time. My
I
friends
know.
do
Well,
too.
it's probably dating you.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Were you following the essay contest?
No, I knew the essay contest was going on. I don't know much about where we're
Why
at
isn't
with
Rob
it now,
a judge for
but-
the essay
Why
contest?
isn't Rob a
What
judge?
the heck, man?
Dude, we dropped the ball on that.
Who's in charge of that?
My bad, Molly.
Molly.
Nelly.
Rob, listen to this. A ninth grader won the whole thing.
Yes.
He defeated 3 grade levels above him.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Kid's name is Jeremy Cavanaugh.
1,500
1,500
submissions.
I was gonna
essays
ask
were
how many.
submitted.
Okay.
And
Incredible.
Yeah.
you know, this year they all the students, unlike the prior 2 years, they got to choose their own problem to solve.
Okay.
His problem was discrimination against LGBT kids in school.
That's incredible.
And
That
he won the whole thing.
that's well. Congratulations to that
Yeah.
young man.
It's awesome.
That's a
Yeah.
very brave topic as well.
Very
Yeah.
brave.
Yeah.
Very brave.
Yeah.
And he wrote it
Yeah.
beautifully.
We went on Idea Center. Idea Stream, and we did an interview with Rick Jackson, and he read a portion of it. If you go to the website, the essay contest website, you could see it, kids listening at home. But this kid, super cool kid. We're definitely having him on the podcast.
That's terrific. I would love to read the essay. How can I read it?
It's on the
That's a
on
great
the-
question, Rob Sapp.
go to-
You can go to.
gertzberglaw.com/essay. Yeah, we gave away that day $15,000, bringing the total in 3 years $38,000 given away to students and schools for writing good essays.
You know what, Alex Gertzberg? We're pretty badass.
I'm pretty proud of us. I'm really proud of us.
Yeah, and you're promoting so many good things.
Yeah.
Thinking.
Yeah.
We're promoting
Thinking.
thinking.
Well, it was really interesting too because that you might, I think we would all agree, is a very progressive topic.
Yes.
But to show just how, I mean, this is actually, I really should have talked more about this at the reception. We all rose. Are you laughing because I couldn't shut up at the reception?
You wanted to talk more?
Molly almost choked on her chocolate chip cookie just now. I mean, yes, I was a little verbose. I was proud.
I know.
No,
You have a
but
lot to
We
say,
needed a
Alex.
cane, though.
This was an important deal.
What's that thing called?
The Gong Show cane.
I think it's just called a cane.
Is it?
Right?
Yeah, we needed a
Let's
cane.
not
Yeah.
overthink it.
God bless you.
No,
We
but-
love you. We love you
No,
so
but listen,
much.
no. We rose above partisan politics at this reception, and we taught the students great lessons in communication and problem solving, even though we had of 4 finalists, 4 final essays, we had one that had a very progressive leaning topic. Another one was getting rid of affirmative action. Right. So yeah. So one of the other 4 runners up took the exact opposite, like along the political spectrum, right? Both of them shared the stage together.
I think she wanted. I think it was was it a she?
I don't think so.
Completely.
Wanted to eliminate affirmative action.
No
I'd
names.
be curious to read that essay as
Right.
well.
No names on applications for college.
Right.
She wanted it to be all, or he wanted it to be like you wouldn't know your last name, you wouldn't know the sex of the person. It was just
made
all...
a decent argument too.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, politically, I'm nowhere near that position, but it was compelling. And then
Made you think.
Yeah, and what else was interesting is that some of our more well-known judges also were on both sides of the political spectrum and agreed that these were the best essays, even though they didn't agree with them politically. So what I'd like to think is that our little contest is a little microcosm for what good can happen, right? When people get together with a common cause and the cause itself is nonpartisan. You know?
Right. Well, and it promotes opening up conversation.
Yes.
You know, and just because you can see both sides of something doesn't mean that you have to stand necessarily on both sides of something, but it's important to, you know, listen as well as talk.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with why that's not happening today, right? The reason it's not happening today is because we are victims of our own evolution, right? I think I've said this in prior podcasts. I think that we are all just pleasure monkeys, right? I think that we are all basically.
I think you just like saying the words pleasure monkey.
I do. It's also, I think, if I ever start a band, that's what it's going to be called.
Yes.
Pleasure monkeys.
Yes.
Sounds like a band.
Yeah, but like if you walk through a mall or turn on the TV and watch any commercials or go on Yahoo, right? I mean, these psychological marketing experts have figured out exactly how to push our buttons. And those marketing experts also work for the political parties. And they are also in the campaigns. And so when they want to earn your vote, right, there's so much thought and science and psychology that goes into how to push your buttons, how to make you angry. You know what I mean? How to get you emotionally engaged, that the content itself gets lost. What's there is the button pushing. I actually have... Don't roll your eyes. Listen, this is important. No. Can I tell you how to fix the whole system? Can I just tell you?
Please.
No.
I'll be quick.
Please
I'll be quick. Here, I promise you this. If you think that this is total bullshit, then I give you permission.
I don't think it's bullshit. I'm bored. Let's move on. My gosh.
I've given this a lot of thought, okay? Here's what needs to happen. We need to have some political campaign, where both candidates do not say what their political party is, and what happens is we follow them around 24/7 with cameras, and we put them in real world situations and see how they react.
No, you just go to what they voted for. It's pretty, it tells them nobody does research anymore.
What I'm saying is I would put a candidate up there and then get a bunch of actors to act out like a union strike or a nuclear attack or like a zombie apocalypse or something. Well, maybe not a zombie apocalypse, but like a flood or some real world crisis.
Real.
And then you just watch them react and you look at the decisions that they make. And then you vote based on that. No sound bites, no commercials, right? No like pre-planned
that's
speeches.
Not even reality world.
Baloney. I bet you can do it in
my
you start with a small race, like county sheriff or something like that, and then
We're not
watch it
going to
grow.
know about it. We're just going to do a fake earthquake, and no one's going to know about it.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm understanding this.
You're not. Trust
Don't
me.
hate on this idea. Just
No,
yet.
but there's some value. There's some value in this.
It's a true
There's some
meritocracy.
value
I'm
in
telling
this
you.
to see how somebody would respond in
I
this.
get that
but
part.
you'll never know how somebody is going to respond in a situation until they're
truly
actually in it.
is.
Otherwise, it just becomes politics again, preparing for what
Or reality
natural
TV.
disaster or reality.
But it's
TV.
much closer than when they get to hire marketing companies and do sound bites and plus think about all of the
I
negative.
really think if people just do a little research on these people.
But nobody
You'll
does.
see what their behaviors are like
yeah,
in situations
it's
like
pretty
that.
obvious.
But Alex, I think it's actually
Thank
a
you,
really
Alex.
cool idea.
Don't
because
patronize me, Molly.
No, but I think it's a good idea because
Thanks, Rob.
Regardless, people are giving you canned. This is my big problem with it all. You can talk all you want. You can make all the promises you want, and regardless of what side of the aisle you sit on, I think we can all agree that we are being led by somebody who says one thing one day and does the next the other.
So maybe have them sign something, and then when they get voted in, they have 30 days to make whatever they promised happen.
Whatever that is. Yeah.
And there's a funding pool set aside to make whatever that is happen. Because obviously that, they get in there and they're like, crap, I can't do this because I have no money. But there'll be an account for you to make whatever you just claimed happen. Because that's what you were voted for.
Terrifying thing, though. We'll never know what it's like to be in that position and the things that go on behind closed doors and the conversations and why and
I don't want to
that and the
no thank you.
It's but we could improve the system a bit.
Yeah.
always.
But
I
think listen, I think it's a good idea.
Good for you, Alex.
I think it's a good idea, and
Rob, stop ass kissing.
I think it would be a great exercise to witness. Now, not to change.
Let's move on.
But
yes,
there's
please.
4 pictures up there.
No one even knows who's in the room. They don't know that we have brought back our episode
Broadway
14
legend
guest back
Broadway
for
legend,
our
Robb Sapp.
episode 49th.
Can you believe that you are our 14th guest?
Yes,
and we are now 3 times more than that.
I remember what I wore.
Do you?
Actually.
I think I do.
Yep.
Was there a hat involved?
There was a hat involved.
Yeah.
Yes, my Peruvian adventure hat, as I like to call it.
There was a lot. I mean, there was just so much meat that we felt we needed to come back and chew off some more.
Yeah.
Really?
That was a really great episode.
Yes.
That's the episode. When people ask me which one do I start with, I go start with the Robb Sapp episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that with good equipment?
No.
Well, I actually noticed this fancy new equipment. Look at this. I just want to just play with this.
Please.
It is another reason
play away.
we wanted you back to get you on good equipment.
We wanted you to know that we've moved up in the world.
I'm so happy for you.
Yes.
So in anticipation of this episode, we decided to do a little research. Speaking of research, and we found these great photos of you.
Yes.
Yeah, but one of those photos is not me.
Is
Can you
not.
tell which one?
Can I
is it
tell?
this one right here with the Jew
bottom first.
No, and you know what? It's so funny that's
bottom
what you
first,
called it because
right there.
I'm going to tell you a story about
Your
that.
Jufro phase?
I'm going to tell. That's exactly what it is because that's what the character breakdown said the role required.
And that's real
and
hair.
So I grew it out. I went into the audition with the wig, actually, and then I was like, I don't need no wig. I'm going to grow this myself because I have curly dark hair.
Because I'm a method actor.
Now, but you're not even seeing it in the. Can I pull this picture up? Do you want to see it? I won't waste your time if you don't want to see
this
the
is
fro
all about
actually
you.
froed out.
Oh, the full
This is
Jufro.
Do you want to
all
see
about
it?
you.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you'll really appreciate this.
Not only do we want to see it, we want to post it. So make
Heck
sure you
yes.
send it to
Okay.
Noah.
Yes.
All right. Well, let me see if I can find it here. I'm going to show you in studio here. Yes, we can post it. What is that? Oh, I never knew this was a thing until my cousins were like, "Dude, you got a Wikipedia page?"
It is through this Wikipedia page that we learned that you started your career dressed as a whale at SeaWorld.
I did.
How did we not talk
and I
about
was
that?
just with one of my best friends from SeaWorld last night. Well, I actually started working. I did not get into the entertainment department originally, and so I went into the merch department and I worked at Antique Photo.
Wait a minute. Back it up. Back it up. So you had to try out to get into you
had to
make
interview
it?
to get into the entertainment department, and then I had to try out to become a show performer because I also did the Sea Lion and Otter show. I was like a character on stage with like the walruses and the sea lions and otters. There is video.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there's lots of video, in fact.
Yes.
But I started out at Antique Photo, and I would dress women as saloon harlots, and I would dress men as sheriffs, and the town tart. And I put
was
them
this
in.
at SeaWorld?
It was at SeaWorld, and it was like a stand. You'd put on Dickies and
Heck
like
yeah.
backless costumes that you'd tie in the back, and you looked like you took people
And you went home with lice.
and you went home. Yes, and I would impart the wisdom. You can smile if you'd like, but a serious face is more authentic.
Yes.
And this was the beginning of my career as a photographer.
I love that. We have year after year of the Geblers
Doing antique
doing
photo.
those
I wonder if I I wonder if I
Isn't
took
that
one of
crazy? You
those
probably
of you at
did.
SeaWorld.
And we did it with my mother, like back in the day. Yes, I
Oh my
have
gosh.
one of.
If you think of what year it
Yes.
was, I could tell you if I was working there. Although I got demoted. I got demoted to balloons. So I had to hold my arm up with whale-shaped Mylar balloons, 1 for 3, 2 for 5, because I got caught sleeping, like taking breaks. My friend was my boss, and I would take breaks in the air conditioning in the back. And the managers came by and they were like, "Yeah, you can't work for your friend anymore." But we had this awesome.
That's probably why the whole SeaWorld has closed.
Yes, I am. Yes,
People were
it's
abusing
possible.
their part-time off.
Yes.
It's possible.
So you-
but we
no.
had this awesome. I got everybody on board at Antique Photo. They liked when you would stand. There was like this little fence that went across the front of the antique photo booth stand or whatever, just to make it look sort of like you're walking into like a saloon or a prairie or something like that. And they wanted us to stand there and smile at the guests. So, it'd be like 95 degrees and you're scorching hot and you're like, watching people walk by with their screaming, crying kids and their like matching outfits and their hip sacks. And it was really tragic and sort of made you lose your faith in humanity. So I said, okay, we're going to play this game. And everybody's going to take a penny and we're going to all toss our pennies out into the midway, and whoever's penny gets picked up first wins. So here we are all standing at the gate, like smiling in anticipation, laughing sometimes, smiling at the guests as they walk by to try to, get them to pick up your penny.
I would totally have picked up a penny.
And it was funny to see who picked them up and who didn't, but it had us right at the edge of the booth, smiling, poised, and our bosses walked by and they were like, "You look at you all, you're so attentive, you're so enthusiastic about your work." I think we even got like a certificate of like something for being like great salespeople.
Did you make up that game?
I made up the game out of boredom.
Did the winner, were there stakes involved? What did the winner get?
I believe there were stakes involved, and I can't remember.
What age are we, Robb Sapp,
I was
with this?
15.
Oh, wow.
I was 15. It was the year that To Really Love a Woman. Was that 95?
What is that? What
That
song
was
is
that was Don Juan. What was that movie? Don Juan, wasn't it called, with Johnny Depp?
Don Juan DeMarco?
Don Juan DeMarco. That's it. That's the one.
I didn't know that song was in it though.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Who was that? That's Bryan Adams, no?
I don't know.
Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
When you love a woman.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was in that. Oh, that's
Remember that
funny.
one?
And
So-
can I ask how you connect that song with that time frame?
Because I had a crush, and that song in my mind was the soundtrack to like my crush fantasies. Well, needless to say, though, it didn't work out in the merchandise department. So I called up my choir teacher, who was the head of entertainment, the manager of entertainment, and I begged him. I was like, "I just quit my job." They yelled at me for doing something wrong, and I said, "I don't need this. I'm leaving. I'm more than just I'm more than just your balloon seller."
So you've been demoted, you quit, you were fired, wow.
And then the next thing I knew, I was dressing up as a plush whale or pelican or even Dolly the dolphin.
Are
they
there
were very
pictures of that?
gender non-conforming. Oh, for sure. And there's a whole slew of stories that go along with that job, but we shan't get into those.
Oh, we should have brought your friend from last night. We could have had a little rehash.
Who? My friend from last
I thought you
night?
said you were with someone from SeaWorld last night.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we could have brought that.
All right, what do we got? Jeez, oh man. That's
pretty rocking, right?
That's an interesting picture of you.
This is
texted me
from
that
Disaster.
night. Yeah.
Make
Could
sure you send that to
to
Nellie.
me, though.
Absolutely.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, send that to Molly.
Wait, I think there's another one here. If
That's
you
an
want to see
interesting
it.
picture.
There's
That was
that
a
one.
great show.
So that's
by the
full
way.
on
that's the
Jufro
one we
right there.
want.
That's when it's in full effect.
Yeah.
Right there.
What do you? What do you think? It's pretty.
Yeah.
That's a
Froey,
solid.
right?
Yeah,
Who would know
I'm
that you
Jewish, and I
were
can
not
tell
Jewish?
you could be like at any bar mitzvah that I've been to.
I've played a lot of Jewish characters.
You have?
Yeah, that's like it's a niche for me. Actually,
Well, there's something a little Jewy about you.
Really?
Actually, yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
that
Yeah.
excites
In fact,
Robb.
you should audition for any Jewish character, and I'll tell you
Well,
why.
I usually
Here's what
do.
it is. Here's what it is. You are a little bit nerdy.
Okay, yes,
You know what I mean? Like in a
yes.
good way, like in an interesting way, in a Jewish way.
Okay.
Right? Like Jews can be nerdy and other Jews will be like, "Oh, he's smart." You know what I mean? He's a good dude. He's a mensch is what we say.
Mensch, right? I know that.
But if
Yes, I think
you're nerdy in other cultures, you're just nerdy. But with Jews, you're considered like a star.
There's a word for it. Because I've seen it in descriptions and breakdowns, and I'm like, wait, that's me. I know I can do that. This must be my part.
Is it Jewy?
No.
They probably don't use it.
Well, now I'm nervous to say because I don't know if it's derogatory.
Well, no, I'll vouch you in. I will.
The word that I've seen is nebishi.
Oh no, that's okay. You're allowed to
That's
say
okay?
that. Yeah, that's not like. That's not a
Is
derogatory
that
word.
sort of thing? Because apparently
well,
the roles I play are nebishi.
Yeah, that's not derogatory. No, you're fine. That's not.
Can you tell me what that?
Yeah,
I probably should have looked that up before I went and blurted that out into a microphone.
I think it means like a little clueless. Here, let's look it up. Let's look it up.
Alex would.
I always thought it meant handsome and charming.
Oh,
A person, especially man.
I could totally do handsome and charming.
A person, especially a man who is regarded as pitifully ineffectual, timid, or submissive.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Timid, meek, or ineffectual
But it
person.
is a true word.
Oh yeah.
It's not like
it's Yiddish.
in the urban.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's often I often see a lot of I'm Sicilian,
Okay.
I'm Italian, and there's a lot of connections between the traditions and I think sort of the values.
Mediterranean, both Mediterranean cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I found a sort of kinship with those, friends of mine who are Jewish who I know understand like the family experience,
Yes.
the food experience. So I wonder if that's what
Irish too.
yeah.
Family and food.
Family and
all we
food.
do.
But there's also the guilt.
Oh, that's
That's
Catholic.
huge.
The
Well, we
the
talked about
mothers.
that.
Jews and the Catholics
Yeah.
are Olympic
For
champions
sure.
of guilt.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey,
So-
do you know anything about the Sicilian Garnacha wine? Have you ever
I
heard
want
Is that what
to
we
say
drank last time?
yes because my very good friend is a sommelier. Not a Somal. Now I've told a few people this, and they're like, "Oh, I don't think I've ever met anybody from Somalia." And
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's right.
"No, it's not that." They're a
boy.
wine
I think it's
expert.
sommelier.
Sommelier. Yes, that's probably
Sommelier is a Somalian person, probably.
sommelier. Sommelier. Am I saying that right?
I think it's sommelier.
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 That's where you put the emphasis.
Yeah.
But
nothing.
she
Ask her
It's
about
not-
Garnacha.
is it Grenache?
There's Garnacha and Grenache. They're the same thing. Depends on where you're at.
Yeah, so
Also-
I have had
yeah.
yes.
In Sicily, they call it Cannonau,
Okay.
but it's the same grape. And the reason I'm asking you about this, Molly and I had some yesterday. In Sicily, they drink it every single day, and there are villages where they grow it, and in those villages, the average life expectancy is over 100.
Get out of here.
That is the
That's
wine.
the common denominator, they think.
They
is the
think
wine.
that it's something about the flavonoids in that wine.
Now, what's a flavonoid?
I don't know.
Well, that's
I don't
what
know.
happens when I drink the wine.
Well, wine's
You start
fermented.
getting
You get flavonoid. I had flavonoid.
I just had a little flavonoids right there.
Did somebody flavonoid? It's fermented, so it's good for your gut. They say it's good for your digestion and all that.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of if you have problems or if you have issues with your health, a lot of that stuff generates.
We learned last episode that
bowels.
you were on that you had sometimes have problems.
Well,
Sometimes on stage.
so
The best story.
oh my gosh.
gets
Well,
so
the
Well, and I've
the
told,
listeners will have to go back and listen to that
Yes,
episode.
you definitely
you
want to go back and
at
listen.
minimum the last 15 minutes.
I've sat in my car after that, and I just had my face in my hands, and I was like, "What have I done?
No, absolutely
What did I
not.
say?" But
Classic.
listen, I'm
Absolutely.
here
You're
to be
free.
vulnerable
That's
and
right.
truthful,
Yeah.
and I'm
That's
human.
You're free to
transparent.
be.
I'm transparent.
You're
Right.
free to be you and me. Do you remember
Yep.
that song? Gosh, that's my favorite song.
Yes.
Who was that? That
It
was,
was,
whoever
who was
gets it
that?
first. It's Marlo Thomas.
Marlo Thomas.
Thank you.
Oh, it was
Free to
Marlo-
be-
I didn't think that's
it was
who it
Marlo
was. It was Marlo
Thomas. Can we
Thomas?
Google check it to make sure?
I believe
Free
you.
to be you and me. It was an awesome album. I listened to it as a child. Then Samantha grew up with it.
Marlo Thomas.
Yeah.
Look at
Marlo
that.
Thomas.
There it is.
Yeah,
Look at you. Look at you knowing your songs.
absolutely. Gosh, that's a good song.
Robb Sapp, what are you working on these days? What does one find Robb Sapp doing?
I'm working on myself.
Okay.
It's been a slow going process.
We're always working. We're always working on ourselves, Robb Sapp.
But in all truthfulness, actually, I have been trying to carve out a little time for myself because I've been super busy the last.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't know anything about being busy, Molly. The busiest
busy
woman,
or taking care of myself.
Oh, well, but you're about
You have to.
the busiest woman I know. You're.
I'm sure there's
Pretty busy.
busier people.
My mom's pretty busy
Yeah.
too. But I had a whirlwind last half a year.
Doing what?
And well, I spent January through April driving back and forth between New York and Cleveland at least once a week.
Because
Which
you
was
were
my favorite.
you were doing a production here. Of something?
Yeah, well, yes,
recall?
I did two
I don't
productions.
think production is the word.
Are we talking about
The gala.
Broadway Comes to Sugar
Yeah,
Inn?
I don't think production even does it justice.
I want to talk about that because you got a really great fundraising story.
Yeah,
there.
but the whole thing was, I don't even know what the word is. It was, I think, community changing.
Well, let's do a
is how
quick
I would put
recap.
it.
So this was a fundraiser for the Chagrin Valley Little Theater.
Correct.
That you flew in your compadres from Broadway.
That's right.
To perform a variety of songs from that show.
Yes, so it's an existing musical called Smokey Joe's
That's
Cafe,
it.
which was on Broadway and is actually coming back to Broadway.
Okay.
Or no, excuse me, it's coming. Strike that. It's coming to off Broadway, and
Well,
it
you should direct it.
is
just so you
well. It's
know.
all right. I think they've already got it lined up. I think they're actually doing their out of town preview right now.
Wow. Things
but
can change.
hey, listen, you never know. It's
That's
a fickle
right.
business.
That's right. That's right.
But it's a review of the songs of Lieber and Stoller, which is a songwriting team who wrote lots of really well-known hits. A lot of like rock and roll, R&B,
For
the
instance.
60s on Broadway, Stand By Me, Hound Dog, Poison Ivy, Love Potion No. 9, Pearl's a Singer.
So Smokey Joe's Cafe is a collection of these songs.
Correct.
Woven into some story.
That's right. Well, there's no book for the show, which means there's no dialogue. There's no scene.
Okay.
It's just song after song after song. But there's a lot of room for like relationship exploration. So how one song leads to the next song or the overarching journey of each character in the show. It's a 9-person show typically. We divvied it up just a little bit differently.
Do you have the like when you buy the rights to it?
Yes.
Do you have that type of
Liberty?
I guess you better say yes because you did. I'm assuming.
Cut some things out right now.
because they're not
As
giving you a
attorney-client
script,
privilege?
so I'm assuming they expect you to.
Well, they give you the
figure it
songs and
out?
they do give you guidelines,
Okay.
and there are certain things that they want the production
Okay.
to. You have to stick to.
Which you abided by all of them. I saw.
Yes,
Yes.
we did. And when I say we divvied it up a little differently because of the talent that we were using. What may have been right for the original actress or actor who did that track may not have been the right fit for the person who we cast. So we moved some songs around, like who sings what. Very minorly, but just to give maximum impact for the format in which we were doing the show. And we were also able to showcase some local talent.
You wouldn't know. You
Well,
wouldn't
that was the
know.
fun thing about it is that you really couldn't tell
You
where
could not.
the line between the professionals and the non-professionals.
What's your connection to the Chagrin Valley Little Theater?
Yes, Molly is the
Stop.
one who, in terms of, did you grow up doing shows at that theater? No, I didn't. But Molly connected, the way she does.
We were
folks from,
we were at the Doc Fest.
Is that what it is?
And you stood on the stage and said, I need to do something on this stage.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so
that's-
funny how Molly is able to just convince people. I mean, you brought Jeff Hoffman in and you brought Robb Sapp
I'm a connector, man.
You just make people bend to your will.
I'm a connector, but I couldn't get a dinner from you for the last 2-3 months.
What the heck?
Without a kitchen, and no one brought me a dinner for the last 3 months.
Anywho, listen. So I heard it was awesome, and then I hear how Molly, you get up during the fundraising part of the production and start a donation frenzy, right? And you ended up raising like how much? Like
bazillion?
Gary was just at the office and he said profited 90.
We netted, over 90.
$90,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
somewhere between
I had
94
started
and 96.
frenzy. The chamber was kind enough to donate 10,000.
Yeah.
So we worked with the master of ceremonies, this amazing auctioneer. He was the auctioneer.
Who Clevelanders would remember.
Yes,
because he was sports. Mark Schrader.
Mark Schrader. He was on Channel 5, I think.
I can't remember.
Maybe 8. I know he was. I don't know. But yeah, so he's this incredible auctioneer who really just pumped up the whole crowd the whole time. So we worked with him before the event to maximize our donation. So we just stood up and said, that we challenged 10 people to raise their paddle and donate 1,000 so we could double our money.
Yeah.
Which we did. I think we did, and then some. And then we had another individual that stood up and he gave $10,000.
Right.
Not actually did that before. We didn't cause him to do that, but yeah, it was so great.
Right.
And then you sat down and got to watch this amazing Broadway performance here in Chagrin Falls.
And
crazy.
And the cats that you brought over here from New York, did they have any connection with Chagrin Falls or with the theater?
Not really. I think I was their connection, and so many of my friends in New York know that I come back and forth. And I think I maybe even talked about this on the last episode, just about, that it's such a huge part of my life coming back here.
Yeah.
And they know what an impact it has on me and how much I love it. And so they're always asking about it and, hey, if you ever have an opportunity, and
why do you keep going back to that place?
Back to New York?
But
Chagrin. That's probably asking that,
they get it because they see the pictures, they hear my stories, or other friends who I've exposed to Chagrin Falls have been,
they didn't want to leave.
They didn't want to leave.
So Rob got them housed in houses. They didn't stay at hotels.
We had a lot of help.
Yeah.
And they
really
were volunteering, right?
Technically, they were volunteering. Now we went
cover their expenses, probably.
We gave them a per diem, like a stipend, and we went through the union. So we actually went to the Actors Equity Association.
And were these people who performed in this particular production before, or do they have to learn it all new?
One of the gentlemen, this was his 4th time doing the show. Everybody else, this was their first crack at it, and they're such utter pros that they showed up really just on top of it.
A week before.
So we had a week rehearsal. We had a week rehearsal with the out-of-towners, and then the local cast, we had 2 weeks rehearsal.
It's really, I'll tell you something, I hear stories like that about Broadway people pretty often, more so than in most other professions, right? At how outgoing and giving they are of their own time. And that, I mean, they have no connection to Chagrin Falls, no connection to this theater. And Rob's like, hey, I need a hand, guys. And they show up.
Well, I need to brag about Rob just for a minute, if I might.
Please.
Okay. So I met Rob, what year was Music Band?
2010.
2010. Met him for the first time ever. And he was directing a play at the high school where
I remember
both
the first words you said to me, by the way.
Which were?
Well,
hey, Hottie.
Was it
Hey, Hottie?
You said I have a bone to pick with you.
Oh my gosh. What was the bone?
Well,
oh my gosh. Sounds about right.
I can totally see you saying
tell
that.
me now before I talk all about how great you are. I might want to change my opinion.
You said I have a bone. You said I have a bone to pick with you, and I was like, like, because I was like, everybody warned me, like, going to work at a high school, you're gonna have to deal with like the politics
moms
and the parents, and I was like, no, I am not gonna put up with any of that because I'm here to enhance these children, their love of the theater. And you walk up to me and you go, I have a bone to pick with you. And I was like, okay, I'm ready for it, whatever it is. And you go, you had your friend come here and talk to the kids, and his name is Max von Essen, and now I'm obsessed.
I am.
Yeah,
I
said,
was.
sorry about it.
Oh, that's
funny.
So
but he's
funny.
obsession worthy, you know.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Like, I can't blame you.
For sure. But
He's that kind of guy.
let's go back to Robb Sapp. So he comes in. He's a local, but I had never met him before. Both my girls were in the show. And I think your cast was how many?
I think we had 97.
About
I believe it was a cast of
97, including football players that had never once stepped on the stage.
A crew of I think 30. I think we had 30 on 20 to 30 on the crew, which was.
If you brought in whatever that number totals, if you brought in each one of those people, they would all say that play was life-changing. Rob, and then if you bring all the people that just did Fame at Beechwood, if you bring the Peter Pan cast, if you bring the little theater cast, I don't know what it is about him, but he gets into your soul, and it is absolutely, he is life-changing to everybody he touches. And then take 90-some people, change their lives, and then throw them on a stage. I mean, it's electric.
Let's deconstruct that for just a moment.
I might get teary-eyed right now.
Because you probably know, Rob, what they're talking about when they say life-changing. I had a life-changing experience with Robb Sapp. What do you think it is that you do that is so meaningful to these people?
I honestly don't know, because I categorize myself with them. My life changes every time I'm involved. I always feel like I'm the one who's the lucky one, and oh my gosh, this has changed my life, and this has enhanced my life. And I honestly, I think it's just
you love the art and the craft.
I love the art and I love the craft
and the children.
Exactly, I think that's what it's the people that are involved. It's easy to forget sometimes how much you're worthy of being valued, and I think in the entertainment industry in particular, or when you're a student, or when you're an adult and life has taken over and you have to think about paying the bills and raising the kids and paying for tuition and doing all these things, to just have somebody say, you're good enough, or you can do this, or thank you so much for being here, or I value your time, I value your talent. A little bit of that goes a long way. And I try to lead with gratitude, so I don't ever take anybody's talents or time for granted when we're all together. And sort of honoring what somebody may be giving up to be the sacrifice they're making, whether it's time with their family or maybe not giving the time they should be giving to their schoolwork or their other activities, to say thank you for doing that. And you can do that. I think setting a high bar is a big part of it.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, there's an expectation. This isn't just kumbaya. I mean, there's an expectation that that if you're getting involved in this, you're going to give it your 110%.
Yeah, no one's going to just coast.
Yeah, but you want to give it because everybody else is giving it, because we want to have the final result reflect because it's also about the every corner, every stage, every set, every piece on that stage is Broadway level. And I think the actors want to make sure that we're at that level. And I could talk from experience because I was an actor directed by Rob.
Yeah. Well, so before you got here, we were watching this song that you sang.
Oh, yes. Happiness.
What was that from?
That's from a show called Happiness that I did at Lincoln Center. I didn't sing that song in the show, actually. That's the title song.
Well, you should have.
But one of the writers is from Pepper Pike. And
Okay.
it was a show celebrating from Cleveland to Broadway was the name of the show.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because I think one thing about a leader that makes you want to follow them and listen to them is when they walk the walk and when you see their talent so I'm guessing, I've never been to a rehearsal, but you have, Molly. I'm guessing when you see Robb up there guiding people and doing his thing, you're like, I'm in the presence of someone who knows what they're doing, and this is a professional, and I want to do what that guy's doing.
Yeah, and you read, his bio and know what he's bringing.
But when you see him act,
for sure,
right?
For
That's
sure.
gotta be.
You're talking about me like I'm not here.
I'll tell you.
Can you leave, please?
Let's pretend Robb's not here. I'll tell you the funniest story. I mean, I have plenty of funny stories with Robb, but the blue sucker story, the blue ring pop story.
Yeah, it was a ring pop.
It's my favorite. And Robb
don't mention
now
any
gets,
names.
I won't. Now Robb gets ring pops anytime he's doing a show
It's
or
true.
something.
I do.
So
Those are really good candy, by the way.
he's
They are.
always at a level of professionalism throughout the whole performance and the rehearsals. And there was just one with 93 people, students. You get to a point where you're at your level of.
Can we hear the ring pop story, please?
That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have to
thought-
build
my
up to
bad.
it,
I
Alex.
don't know.
No. There's a difference between what I'm saying, which is important to get to the story, and what I talked to you about yesterday.
No
Trust
comment.
me. Yes.
No comment.
So, Robb was at his peak. Like he was going to tilt. Like
Where and when is this? Is this?
I'm not going to say what play. It was him directing a play.
Okay, I got it.
But we were well into the rehearsal process.
Yes.
Okay.
We were coming up on the,
A tech week,
the
Hell
back-
Week
yes,
is
the
what
back
call
nine
it.
of
Got
the
it.
rehearsal
As us
process.
actors call it Hell
Sorry.
Week.
Thank you.
Yes, that's right.
So
We were in 10 out of 12s, I believe.
yes. So this one person.
That's how the theater lingo.
Is that 10
yeah,
out of
you
12
wouldn't
hours?
understand.
Yeah.
You
I
wouldn't
just did. I
understand.
just understood.
Damn it. This one kid kind of just is not focused. He's lingering around, right? Not even.
Yeah, he was supposed to be doing a
And he missed his cue.
scene change.
And Robb called him out on it, and he's got a ring pop in his mouth. Yes?
Well, I said, where is so-and-so?
Yes.
And they all said, well, we think he's in the back. We'll go get him. And I said, no, I will go get him. Everybody just stay put. 90, however many people on stage.
And it's pure silence at this
As I
point.
go walking back into the wings and run into said
Individual
who I'm sure has grown so much by this
I'm
point.
sure. I'm sure he's a movie star by now.
But sucking on a blue ring pop with the blue tongue. And, I think I came out with the ring pop before he
I think
actually
you left.
came out. No,
That
no.
wasn't- no,
I came
okay.
out with the ring pop in my hand. And, so many things wrong about that. First of all, you shouldn't be eating on stage. You should not be eating on stage, candy when you're supposed to be on stage moving a piece of scenery. And it was a pretty big show. I mean, we had
It was a huge
large
show.
set pieces. And if you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, injury, parents would be calling you and, asking you to take
So
the
did
case.
you lose it then? You lost it then.
That was when I
Yes.
said,
Yeah,
that's
lost
when I had
it.
a stern talking.
Yeah.
With the,
And I believe I was sitting I helped out a lot. And I
Yeah, you
believe
were
I was
around.
sitting at that particular moment, probably snickering.
So you lost it in front of all 93
Well,
other
I mean, I
people?
wasn't like
No,
red-faced
not like
screaming,
that,
but I had
yeah.
to just speak very directly. And Carly Cott actually brought this up when she was in town. Because you remember the day when, and I said, this is what's going to happen. And this is sort of what I mean when I say I set a high bar, because I always ask the cast, do you want an pretty good show that looks like every other show that people may go see at this level, or do you want it to be outstanding? And I get them to ask them to commit to what they want the show to
Right.
be, and then I hold them to that. And I said, this is what we're going to do, because this is where I feel we're at in the process. I said, parents, while you were on spring break, we're in here painting sets, building costumes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all coming
The
back.
orchestra is rehearsing. What we're going to do, I feel like I'm not going to be able to use this tactic again now
I
that I'm like
know,
speaking
I
publicly about
know.
it. But I said, we're going to roll all the costumes out. And Carly, I mean, she verbatim said it back to me when we were out after
So it was inspirational to
she
her.
goes, oh my God, we were so terrified because you said we're going to roll all the racks of costumes out on stage, and we're going to fly all the sets in, and we're going to do all the lighting design, and you all are going to sit in chairs, in your street clothes with a line of microphones across the front, and we're going to do a concert version of the show, and no staging, no costumes, but everything that everybody worked on that was a part of the show, we're going to still celebrate their work by putting all those elements on stage with you while you're sitting in your street clothes doing a concert version of the show. And they just all just, you know, but that was a turning point.
It was.
And, going into a process, you're going to have that moment. And in some ways,
and in theater, you make it more dramatic.
It was a strategy.
For the,
we knew going into that night that the kids were going to be coming off a spring break unfocused, and you have to have that moment of snap back, like get back to this, because we only had, I think, like a week before we were going in front of an audience or something like that at that point. So, that was just the thing to get them to sort of just come back to a place of clarity and realize what the goal was, which is to
it was spectacular.
Execute this show we had been working on for months. And they did such a beautiful job.
A great job.
Every last person on that stage, every last person off stage in the wings and the orchestra pit, it really was a magical, life-changing moment, I think, for everybody who touched it.
So hearing you talk, the way I would answer that question is that you obviously love it that much, and you care about the product and the process that much, that it comes out and it comes through everything that you do over there.
But I care about the cast and the company of the show too, and to just witness them not, I say, don't do it for me, do it for yourselves. Do it for and if you can't do it for yourself, do it at least for those who you love and care about in the show, who have put in a lot of work. If you need something like that to motivate you, but I care about them, and they are all capable. I mean, you see the growth through the process, and
you follow up with them a lot.
Oh, sure.
I know Alex talks about essay contest winners, and you hang out now with from that particular, from the Music Man.
It's interesting. So at the party the other day, I ran into an old friend who adopted a little baby, and we were talking about how really the greatest investment, the greatest thing you could ever do as a human being really is to give your time to somebody, right? And but not to make it empty time, but to make it like pregnant with meaning and attention, to make it completely filled with love and with your attention, I guess, just not empty. And it sounds like that's what you do. Like you're giving your time to these kids, but that time is filled with all of your experience and all of your attention and your lessons. And I'm guessing that a lot of it is also filled with some of your role models, right?
100%.
I'm guessing that speech is probably similar to one that you heard.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's what grew the love for the process and the respect for the process.
Yeah.
And when, I actually do take it personally when the process is not respected, or when people just sort of half show up and they're not giving 100%, because you can't do it if you're not giving. You can't do anything really well if you're not giving your whole self to it. And I think that's an important lesson that, especially at the student level, but any level, take away from it. You get out of it what you put into it.
But it's also positively reinforcing. You want to come back and keep doing this because you see that growth and you see
100%.
How much impact you have on these kids every single time.
Yeah, and selfishly, there's an impact, that it has on me that continues, that allows me to continue to invest in that.
You still do it with your mentor.
I do, and I would be remiss not to mention Pat Hainish, who was I'm sure I talked about her on the last episode, but who was my high school, and I mean, I think she pulled me into The Music Man, which was my first show when I was in 7th grade, and I know the impact that had on me, and I know that can have, it could alter the course of someone else's life, even if you're not going into theater.
Yeah,
it's still, you can still carry these things with you no matter what you're going into.
And you do, because you not only do theater, but you own a photography company called Dirty Sugar.
That's right.
So, and you don't do that half-assed either.
No, I mean, it would be impossible, and especially because people's livelihoods depend on that. It's a little, stakes are different with that.
Give a little history of what that, because this isn't like your mom and pop. It is, but you do some big events.
We get to work on some pretty fun stuff.
Yeah, share a couple things. Entice the audience.
More recent things
we did. You signed any confidentiality?
I can break them for you.
We did. We work a lot with the Broadway community. We work with Disney, which is super exciting for me because that's like my worlds colliding with my, being employed by Disney doing Lion King. And then they're calling us to also provide a service, which they didn't know it was me for a long time, which was really fun until my studio manager spilled the beans. We got invited to do a sort of a photo activation for the Lion King 20th anniversary on Broadway. And so in the talks, they said, oh, yeah, well, Robb's going to be there, because he got invited because he's a cast member. And they said, huh? Robb Sapp? And she goes, oops. Because for a long time, I've enjoyed the anonymity of it. It allowed me to sort of have creative authority without having to answer to sort of the machine, the entertainment machine. And now the secret's out. But
you've done some TV shows. Orange is the New Black. You've taken what else
Vogue?
Have we done? Is it? No, there's a magazine you did.
We did. We did something for
Macy's?
maybe Elle. We did Bloomingdale's. We've done
Saks
Fifth Avenue, Chanel. we've done a lot of we've done a lot of the retail, express, the brands, all that. We've worked in a lot of the museums. We've done opening nights for Frozen. We did the new Jimmy Buffett musical, Escape to Margaritaville.
And you're going there to take photos of the cast and for the purpose of like marketing and programs, or what are the pictures?
Usually it's to create like viral buzz about the event. Okay. So, the tagline for this particular service, which we call the Socialite, Light, is everybody's famous with the right lighting. So we just light everybody so they look like superstars. So they want to share these watermarked images, these images that have these brand names on them or the event information, and then people put them on Instagram, they put them on their Facebook pages, and then it brings visibility to the event.
And it's an experience.
It's an experience.
You bring props.
We design sets. We have a professional photographer on site and a photo editor editing photos. You can share it right to yourself from an iPad. It's like photo booth meets a fashion shoot.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like the way you described it as an experience, because I'm thinking about that a lot in my practice and in our business. And I keep telling our clients that that's how they need to think about their business, because there's a million competitors out there in anything you do, but there's only one unique experience that each one of them brings. And that's what people are buying. It's not the end product. It's the experience. It's the memory. It's the feeling. It's the emotions, right? So if you want to succeed in any business, don't just sell a product, sell an experience. When you talk to somebody who stayed at the Four Seasons, right? Ask them to describe their stay, right?
I'm sure Robb has stayed at the Four Seasons.
Have you stayed at the Four Seasons?
No, I haven't stayed at the Four Seasons. No.
But the Four Seasons.
Have you, Alex?
No, but I know about the experience, and this is my point, right? Is that a guy was telling me about his experience at the Four Seasons and how on his second or third time there, the doorman knew him by his face, and he had forgotten something at the pharmacy. And he called down there and he just asked for directions, and they said, no, we'll go get it for you, right? And there were just a lot of little things like that he talked about. He said, and he was telling me how this, and this is a business guy, a business entrepreneurial instructor, coach, and he was using this as an example about how Four Seasons has mastered the experience of their product, right? It's just a room. It's just a room with really nice decorations like every other hotel out there. But they have really mastered the delivery of this experience. And it gets people to keep talking about it. And they do. In the exact same way, when someone has a bad experience, they always talk about their bad experience.
More common
Usually
than that.
more.
Yeah, exactly.
Their bad
Exactly.
experience.
But the point is, you either think, as a business person, you either think about your business as an experience, And when you do, you better think about it as a good experience, a neutral experience, or a bad experience, right? Because it's one of those three that is going to be how it's described to other people by your customer. You know?
Lowe's is getting that bad
Right,
experience. I'm
right.
getting out there on that for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, here. So we've just spent the last half hour talking about like one of the answers to the question, what has Rob been doing lately? Right. And I don't know that we got to.
Well, I've been resting.
Yeah.
Well, so I've been actually pretty busy the last few weeks, but it doesn't feel like I've been busy because for the last like 5 months I've been swimming with like a sweatsuit on, and now I'm swimming in my Speedo, you know, so like all that drag is off me, and I'm kind of like, now I feel like I'm just coasting. So I
was
feel, even though I'm
with a
busy,
full suit on yesterday, with all my sweat.
were you? So you didn't get
You saw me with
sunburn?
all my sweat.
Oh,
Gosh, I was
swimming in your own sweat.
dying. Yes.
Schwitzing.
But she was so weird because she kept
Schwitzing.
walking around saying, "Come on in, the water's great." Alex, baby, slide that bottle over here for a second. Refill here.
Actually, as we walked to Alex's party, I said, "Do you think Alex would mind if I just took all my clothes off?" Because that everybody's like, "No, he totally wouldn't care."
encourage it.
Thank you.
I know.
That was
Rob,
poor.
are you performing or producing any other shows right now?
At the moment, no, there's some things in the works, but
Okay.
there's nothing.
Irons in the fire.
There are definitely some irons in the
That
fire.
is such a
What?
actor comment.
Yeah, because it basically is like, I'll leave it up to whatever you want to think it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got these going on.
Yeah.
I got some
And
stuff in the
I use
hopper.
that now too.
Yeah.
I use that now too.
I actually have a bunch of stuff lined up.
but
for,
he, I would imagine, but
well, I mean,
mine's usually fake.
you know, I'm always apprehensive to talk about things until they're, you know.
Yeah.
But what I can talk about is some fun projects that I'm working on through my studio. I'm going to Miami to shoot a video project through the studio that I'm producing. And then I'm going out to LA in the fall to shoot something that we're producing for this incredible organization called Ad Color, and they're all about diversity in advertising.
I love that name.
And yeah, really cool. We've worked with them the last few years, and they do this incredible, like on the scale of the Emmys award show that is for people in the advertising industry.
And when is that? In the fall?
It's in the fall.
So maybe if I can get through my fear of flying, maybe I could be your assistant and we can go meet my new friend John Hill.
Yes, who's blowing me up right now.
I know. It's very exciting.
I should be like, well,
to me.
I'm John.
Just say I'm with Molly Gabler.
I'm on air right now.
Excuse me. Yeah,
If you're
I'm with
really
Molly
lucky,
Gabler.
John, you might meet her one day if she
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. Maybe you'll be a
That's
guest
right.
on the Feels.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that.
I think, boys and girls, it's time for the new and improved lightning round.
Oh, I have a new question.
Gosh.
You got a new one?
I do.
Okay, so tell me how this goes again.
No.
What do I do?
No.
I just
You
have to answer.
sit there and take it.
No.
Oh, God, I should have a
But-
cookie close by just so I could
Mine are
chew on
totally
it.
easy, but I do have a new question.
Yeah, and our final lightning round question was actually inspired by Rob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did get that lightning round question.
No, I think that was inspired by his story.
Really?
By his story, yeah. Wasn't
So
it?
You have left an imprint on our show.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's not tell him until
I don't
we
know.
ask
Maybe
it.
Wait,
we'll have to go
What
back
was
and
the
listen to it.
story?
Did we do a lightning round
I
with you the
can't
last
remember.
time?
I don't know because you fed me wine the whole time. The end
Yeah,
of it
he
was
did
very
say he
blurry.
wasn't going to drink this time.
I know.
but
We'll
he
see.
did.
All right.
All right, you ready?
What's your new question? Let's start there.
I'm going to start with the new one. Really?
Okay, and I have to
No,
answer.
you want to
I
build up
save-
to it? We can
yeah,
build
I
up
want
to
to
it.
save it. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
going to do this with my eyes closed.
All right. It's really not that.
microphone.
It's really not that
This is
hard.
not going well.
What's
boy.
the last show you binged?
The last show I
When we say
binged-
lightning, we don't mean time.
Oh, I don't have to
Don't
an-
do stress.
No,
No.
So-
That's
okay,
where the
all
stress
right.
was coming.
You're getting flop
That-
sweat.
Flop sweat. Oh my
like
gosh,
that?
I
You
am
like
getting
that?
flop
It's
sweat.
getting
Good for
flop
you.
sweat.
Good on you, Alex.
Oh, Alex.
my God.
I use that. I try to use that at least
That
once
is.
a month.
That's
That's a
going to be
great
my band name.
flop sweat.
Flop
Flop
sweat.
sweat's
That's so
awesome.
good. So it's
The
not.
flop sweats are opening up for the
Pleasure monkeys.
pleasure
Yeah.
monkeys.
I'd go see that.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my
Sounds
gosh.
awesome.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so it's not the speed round. It's
no,
just the
don't do
lightning
like
round.
yeah, just
Okay, the last thing that I binged watch. Oh, little the one with Nicole Kidman, The Lies.
That's really good.
I love that show.
What's it called?
But I do get it mixed up
Big
with
Little Lies.
Big Little
Right,
Lies.
and I get
Not
it mixed up with Pretty Little Liars.
Little Liars.
Right,
Yeah.
that girl just got married.
I don't watch the show, so I don't know.
I don't either, but my daughter put that wedding dress in a box and shipped it to the wedding.
Because your daughter's famous. Yeah, I think it was pretty. I think it
Big Little Lies.
Big Little Liars.
Did you watch it all?
Is that back?
No.
Did it end?
Big Little
No, it was.
Lies.
No, it
it
was a one thing.
It's coming back. They're doing a season 2.
Shut up.
What?
Yeah.
I'll watch
See,
that.
I don't
That's
know if
that was awesome.
Somebody
so well
else
written.
just did. Oh, it's the 13 reasons that everyone's saying. You know what?
Just leave it at that.
You did it at 1. That was what your original plan is, and now you're hopping on the we're so popular bandwagon. And
Was that a good show? 13
I
Reasons
did
Why.
not see it. I'm afraid to see it. But
That's about a suicide,
Yeah,
right?
I started
Yes.
to watch it, and I was.
It's too
It
much.
was not what I needed at the moment,
Right.
because I was trying to just sort of,
Yeah,
It
seems
was-
depressing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a heavy subject
it's a
matter.
very-
I would like to go back and watch it, so those who have watched it, I can have a conversation about it, because it's very.
I know, very scary. Okay,
yes.
what's on your mind?
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
these cookies sitting in front of me.
How come no one's eating them?
They're amazing, and these
'cause
are
I was-
from Augie's too.
Didn't know if they were
Yes,
gonna make
I
like
think so.
awkward, like this
I
sort
already
of
ate.
sound.
I already ate
this
one, so
sort of.
What a consummate professional you are. Look at that.
Okay, so and I'm so excited about my new last question because
That's it. This is the
I
one
have
with
my
my
that's
he
Molly.
has
Oh,
them
I got
too.
mine, yeah.
Mine are more kind of
thought it
light
was
and airy. And your
hot
last
seat.
text you sent. What
Was
did
to
it say?
John Hill.
You don't have to say what, or you didn't have to say who it was to,
Oh.
but I just want you to read it.
I said, I'll tell you what it said.
a
Do you want to
silly
know?
question.
That's an awesome question.
I want to hear it. Well,
Yes,
we'll
we
be the
do.
judge of how awesome this
Oh,
question
it
is.
is.
In
I don't
2
care what it
seconds.
is. I just need to hear what it said.
I invited him to my. So I have a big birthday coming up on Friday.
How big?
It's a big one.
The big
It's a milestone.
27.
30,
You're so kind. Thank you.
35.
No.
Not 40.
Yeah.
Get the frick out of here.
Yep.
There's no way. You don't look 40.
Well, thank you. I don't feel 40.
No, good for you. Keep doing what you're doing.
But
Yeah.
let me
Moisturizer.
Drinking that
Moisturizer.
wine.
Yes, I was. We were texting, and he said we're long overdue for a proper ketchup, baby. And I said agreed. I said I'm having a little get together. You should come. And he said I would love to come stop by.
Lovely.
Oh.
Yeah, good question, Molly.
That is
That was
a
a
great
good one.
question.
Yeah.
I love it. I didn't expect all that.
It was a full circle, though.
But, yeah,
Well, I
I
want to
lo-
give it some context.
Yeah, I
'cause
got you. But I think sometimes it might just be fun to hear
Just with
it
the word
without
okay.
any context.
So do you? All right, let me go back then.
Okay,
Let
so
me-
then- so
we'll do the one before
do the
that.
before.
We'll do the one before.
But
that.
now I'm trying to figure out how I can drive to Rob's birthday party on Friday so I can meet John Hill. I'm just gonna, but I can't because it's also then my baby girl's 21st.
So it's the last text message I
Yes.
sent.
Yes.
Hey, any update on the report?
Oh,
This is so
Ooh,
scary.
that could be
there's
anyone
so
regarding
much
anything.
in that. So, Alex, what was the last text you sent?
This is actually it was probably not fit for public consumption because it was to my ex-wife.
Even better. I said you don't have to tell. My
That's
last one
juicy.
was okay.
It should be, what was the last Bitmoji you sent? And then you have to put it on your website to see what it was.
Oh, what was the last? I don't even know.
My
what the-
emoji game is not good.
You don't have.
So you do the Bitmoji?
You don't
now, where
have-
it's like
oh,
the
I
little
love-
like avatar of
You and I
as a-
Bitmoji.
I don't even know how to do that. Do you need Snapchat for that?
You just need the
You need
Bitmoji,
bit
app.
emoji. See, this is my bit emoji. I have
Oh,
a
that's-
Cavs outfit
okay.
on. Do you have a Cavs outfit on?
You betcha.
Oh.
Does the Pope wear velvet slippers?
So you just search whatever you
Here's
want.
mine. Someone told me that my Bitmoji looked like Kevin Love, and I got excited.
Oh, so what did you? What did you?
I look nothing
search?
to our viewers at home who can't see me. I look nothing
No,
like Kevin
we
Love.
don't
But I
know.
think he's extremely handsome.
What did you search for that Cheers one so I can bring up the same exact one?
It just came out.
Oh, here was it wine or beer? So
I didn't put it. When I opened the app, it was just ready, waiting there.
All right, so that's
It
the same.
knew that we were drinking wine. That's so
What
weird.
the hell,
Crazy.
Bitmoji?
Big
God.
brother.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay.
Kids. This is all really exciting.
All right.
Rob.
I know
Yes.
it is.
Robert Sapp.
Yes, sir.
If you were stranded on a desert island
Yes.
for a minimum of 3 months, but not knowing how long, could be forever.
Okay.
Could be until you die.
Okay. Oh,
And
gosh.
you could bring only one musician's entire discography with you. Which musician's discography would you bring?
Stevie Wonder.
Interesting.
Ooh.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's a great
Get some
one.
funk on your deserted island.
Yeah. I followed closely
Favorite
by
song?
If It's Magic. Is my favorite,
Good call.
which is it's not one of his more well-known songs, but one of my favorite songs of his. But George Michael would be a close second.
Rob and I jammed out to George Michael, and that's my jam.
Yeah.
What did we do? Freedom?
We did Faith.
Faith.
I was obsessed with George Michael when I was in 6th grade.
Did he
Fifth
die?
grade. 5th grade. Yes.
He died, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Back
On Christmas.
off, Molly. Don't get mad at me because I wasn't sure.
Oh my
He
God.
did.
We still mourn the day.
Yeah. I never got to see him live.
I was watching the Cavs game last
Never
week,
got to
and
say goodbye.
Hall and Oates were sitting in the front row. Did you see them? It was crazy. They
Because
didn't.
they were performing the next night
Yeah.
at the Cube.
They were old.
Oh my
They were
god.
I
very
did see
old,
that.
huh?
I did see that. When the game I went to, JT was in the front row. That
Oh
was
yeah.
the one where LeBron and
The Pelicans? Was it the Pelicans?
would have been the Raptors, or who was before the Raptors?
It was the playoffs. Yeah. It would have I think it was the Pelicans.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I don't even remember.
I could be wrong.
I don't remember
I'm
what
getting
happened
all the
for
games. No, it's me.
Yeah, but
It's
that's
me.
where
I'm
and then
wrong.
he then LeBron went to his concert and brought shots.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And I can't believe JT's coming back for another concert.
Another one. I saw his last concert and it was so good. It was the one in Cleveland because I was here. But every time I go to a concert, truly the thought crosses my mind that I never got to see George Michael, and I wish I would have been going to a
I got to
George.
see Michael Jackson during his Thriller
see
tour.
You did?
That was amazing.
I'm going to Elton John in November, which I can't wait for.
Here?
Yes, I have an embarrassing. Do you want to hear an embarrassing George Michael story?
Hold it.
Okay.
Hold it.
This is
Hold it.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
That's 2 questions for me.
There are many
Okay.
times where a guest is dying.
He
to tell us.
anticipated
I'm
the last
sorry.
one.
I got to
know,
put
I
my
love
train back on the
that.
tracks. Okay.
Okay.
I love that.
Same desert island.
Yes.
Same shipwreck that
Okay.
gets you there.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just me and my
Same
Stevie Wonder
circumstances. That's right.
discography.
Now you can bring one author, but you get to bring his entire bibliography, his entire collection.
Or her.
Or her. That's
Okay.
right. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Equal opportunity. That's
Yeah.
true.
Well, that would change the question for me probably.
Yeah, no, definitely his
or the
her.
answer, I should say. I would probably bring David Sedaris.
Ooh, I love David
because he's
Sedaris.
funny. He's
Amazing.
a little dark.
Well, plus that last diaries thing would keep you busy for all 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 1,000 pages.
Yeah, I haven't done the whole thing.
He's hilarious. I love that.
But yeah, that's the one that pops into my mind first because I don't think I'd want to read anything or J.K. Rowling. Perhaps just because you know
Keep you
she's
distracted.
Yeah,
buy that.
and it's easy.
Yeah.
Easy to get through.
David Sedaris has some really funny meth stories in one of his books. I think it's in Me Talk Pretty. Right? He's this. I mean, he's a journalist and he's a writer and a poet. And apparently, in his formative years, he did tons of like meth and crack and crazy drugs.
Wow.
And he has hilarious stories. Like he's doing like art installations with them, and it's crazy.
I like the Santaland Diaries. Did you ever read that?
No.
It's like about him working as like an elf, maybe at Macy's for like one of the Santa photo experience things, and it's hilarious.
Interesting.
Oh my.
Final question,
Yes.
which you just anticipated and may have inspired
Yes.
only 40 episodes ago. 30 episodes. An embarrassing story about yourself that no one knows yet.
But we want the one that popped in your mind.
Yeah, I think this is a two-parter. I want to hear I want to hear that one.
You know
and
what?
then this
I don't
one.
think a lot of people know this story, to be honest, because it's sort of creepy a little bit.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Love creepy.
By the way, I gotta leave here in 7 minutes to get to Jacob's soccer game. So go.
You got it. Okay,
Go.
so it's so fast. It's a quick one. It's. I was obsessed with.
Don't rush it. Don't
okay,
rush it.
all right.
Set
Okay,
it up.
let me
Take
take
your time.
let me take a deep breath here. So when I was in 5th grade, my dad through his work got tickets to the George Michael concert, and my mom took my sister, and I didn't have a care, towards George Michael one way or the other. But that night, I had a dream that we were friends.
After the concert?
Well, the night that my sister went to the concert, I didn't go to the concert.
Okay.
And I just remember my sister talking about the concert when she got home. So it must have been fresh in my mind. And so in the dream, we were friends. And do you remember you'd have those dreams as a kid and you'd wake up and you'd be like, oh no, I just want to go back to that dream where you're friends with a famous person or like you're just casually hanging out with like somebody who's like your idol or something like that. And so I became obsessed with George Michael. I mean, my mom bought me George Michael boots for Valentine's Day when I was in 5th grade. Like they were like alligator snake skin, kind of like the ones
he wore
wears in
Faith. Yeah.
And I bought my aviators and I wore these things around school in 5th grade. In fact, I wrote a tribute to George Michael on my Facebook page when he passed away, and I talk about this. What I don't think I talked about is I wrote him a fan letter because they had the addresses in the back of like the Teeny Bopper magazines, and you could write to like their management agency. And I had this idea in my mind that he would think that this was a perfectly reasonable request.
Sure.
But I wrote to him.
Joe Namath went to the Brady Bunch, didn't he? When Bobby was pretend sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you remember that episode?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
No. But I wrote to George Michael and I said, hey, listen, like just so casually, like, hey, man, hey, George, yeah, like I'm a big fan or whatever. I think you're awesome. Next time you're getting your hair cut, if you think about it, would you maybe just like pick up some of the hair on the ground and put it in this little baggie that I'm supplying and send it back to me?
Put a baggie
and
in
I
there.
waited.
Oh my God.
Expecting that he was just going to be like, oh, sure, no problem. Hang on 1 second. Hang on, before you do my sideburns, 1 moment, please.
That curl right there, that's the one.
And
I'm
it was a
saying to
curl.
Rob.
In my mind, it was going to be a little,
Right,
I was
of
going to get
course.
this little
A
curl
curl
in this
lock.
little plastic sandwich bag sent back to me with a lock of George Michael's hair.
That with all my
And it
heart.
never came.
Never came.
How
And-
long did you wait that you realized?
About a year, because so my teachers even would like sort of rag on me about being obsessed with George Michael. They'd be like, oh, brother, here's the kid in the weird like George Michael boots and aviator glasses. And so I was so proud to go in 6th grade and tell my 6th grade teacher, I was like, guess what? I'm not obsessed with George Michael anymore. And he was like, that's great. And I was like, I love the New Kids on the Block now. And he was like, oh, gosh.
Which one?
Well, I had a rat tail. Did you know that? I had a rat tail like Jordan. So Jordan was my favorite. And before I grew my tail out, I took my sister's, one of her Barbie dolls, and I cut the hair off and I taped it to the back of my Batman baseball cap because Jordan had a Batman baseball cap, and I taped a tail to it and I wore it around so it looked like I had a tail like Jordan. And I still have the hat with the tail attached to it.
Yeah, we gotta. Have you not shared that with anybody? Because I'm surprised that none of your friends try to fake George Michael hair and send it to you.
It's such a creepy story
I
that
would've
I
done
feel
it.
like it's weird to tell. Like I sound like
No,
a
how old were
demented.
you?
I was in 5th grade.
No, that's very reasonable.
I was in
Really?
love with Sean Cassidy in 5th
People
grade.
ask their idols for strange things in
For
5th
sure.
grade.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Sure.
I
Oh,
guess.
It would have been
Gosh,
creepier
yeah.
if he sent it and you still carried it around with you.
Right. Right.
Awesome if you sent it.
Or as an adult, I was
Oh my
like,
gosh!
can I-
Can you imagine?
Right. Like if
Can I
you
have a
sent
locket
that
of
to
your
Elton
hair?
John right now, that would be
Right.
creepy.
Or if
Creepy.
you were next to someone and just kind of pulled it and snipped a piece
Right.
of hair off,
Yeah.
that would
Right.
be weird.
But why? What am I gonna do with a piece of like? Why
make a
hair?
shrine
That's
with it.
weird. Like
well,
You
because
tape it to your
he
wall
couldn't
and
send
pray to it.
anything else.
that's true.
A fingernail,
Fingernail
I guess you
clipping.
could
Yeah.
ask for.
That's or nose hair. or
Oh,
something
that
like
is the
that.
best.
What did we learn today, Molly?
Everything.
quick recap.
We learned how awesome Rob is.
How
I already
meaningful
knew that,
he is
but
in the
hopefully
lives
our
of his
listeners
students.
have learned that.
How
Yes.
he fakes rat tails
Yes.
using Barbie hair.
Obsessed
So
with George
weird. I was such a
Michael.
weird kid.
Where could we find Rob if someone wants to find Rob?
No, is it dirtysugar.com? Is that what it is? There
DirtySugarPhotography.com.
you
No,
go.
a lot of people go to DirtySugar.com, and I don't.
Oh, is that a
I
sex
don't-
site?
I'm not sure. I haven't actually.
Because Dix.com
I'm
is a
gonna find out
sex
right now.
sex site.
Is it? How
It's
do you know
Dick's
that?
Sporting Good because I did Dix.com and I got a virus
And now
on
you
my
get all this weird
computer.
spam
A
in
lot
your
of penises
email.
popped up.
Right.
Didn't get that one. Yeah, it's Dick's Sporting Goods.
What is it? Yeah, it's just some weird what do you buy? Oh, it's just related links.
Dude, honestly, before listen, I'm
no
going
one's
to tell you
even
right
bought
now.
that. Why aren't you buying that?
Before this airs, because when somebody hears this, they're going to go buy it first. So go buy this thing.
They're no
And we
longer
had
in
tried
business.
at one point in time.
They're no longer in business.
Yeah,
There used to be a weird fly and a fly swatter that would swat the fly.
You want me? I'll put you in touch with my cousin Nate. He'll hook you up.
Okay.
Yeah, he got me all our domain
Thank
names.
you. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
for sure.
Hey, there's me.
So dirtysugarphotography.com and you know what I wanted to ask you, by the way? I saw in your Wikipedia that you were in that Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Yeah.
I watched that. I saw that for the first time when it was here in Cleveland. It was phenomenal.
I helped create
loved it.
that.
What do you mean you helped create it?
Yeah, I was in the original cast of that out of town, and we improv'd the show. That's how the show was built.
Get outta here.
So myself and
I
Jesse Taylor
loved it.
Ferguson and all the original cast.
So good.
Your sister actually reminds me of my good friend Sarah Salzberg, who was the original Logan Schwarzenegger.
Interesting.
You did know that because that was the play that he gassed and shit his pants.
No, I didn't.
No.
That
You felt like you were going to.
Yes,
and
I
you had to
barely. It was a
leave.
close call.
Like getting J-Lo's
No.
G-string.
That was
He
the
went
wicked story.
backstage.
This is where I had to hold the microphone in my hand.
Yes.
And flush with the other.
And the whole cast made fun of him.
And the whole cast
yes.
still-
I'll have to go back and
day.
listen to that episode again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
This was
else?
so much fun.
It was fun.
See?
Thank you for having me
We knew
back.
it was.
I'm
Aren't
so
we more
honored.
professional than we were 30 episodes ago?
You are both
Have
so
we grown?
lovely and so fun, and keep doing you, as the kids say. Just
Yes,
do you.
be you.
You know,
Just
be
do you.
you.
We're also very good
And-
at fishing for compliments.
Well,
We get
you're
better and
worthy of
better.
compliments. I just feel weird that we talked about me. Next time, I would like to come on and interview you two.
Oh,
Fascinating.
We like that idea.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
That's it. I
So-
mean, you'd probably do a better job than Molly and
I
I.
don't know if you'd be
Yeah.
willing, but maybe that could
Yeah.
be like an
think
anniversary
that'd be
episode
fun.
or something.
That'd
Well,
be super
actually, you know
fun.
what we've been talking about doing is taking the show on the road to New York.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And
Will you
yeah.
get us
Do you want me to
some
get you
guests?
some fun guests?
Sure.
Yes.
Oh.
Party.
Oh my
Yes.
God, Molly's
Road
head just
trip.
exploded.
Road
Yeah, no, that
Yes.
could be. We'll do like a week's worth of shows on the
Yes.
road.
We're saying a week now.
Yeah, why not?
I will get you some rockin' guests.
Well, you
for
got to be on every
sure.
episode though.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to because you'll know their stories and stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah.
this is a
let's
great
do
idea.
it.
Seriously, can we
Let's
do
it.
this?
Oh,
yeah,
we're totally doing it.
we just talked
We're
about doing it last
yeah,
night.
you totally because I have to
Done
go
deal.
to. What did I say? I have to go to Saks.
I got to meet
Goldman
clients over
Sachs.
there, so I got to go there.
You
anyway.
have clients,
Yeah.
and yeah,
deal.
for
Yes,
sure.
yes,
for sure.
yes.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Yes. Although
Molly-
Alex is flying and I'm driving,
That's
and
true.
I'll
That's
meet
weird.
you there.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, you
Molly,
know, we're
any-
taking. I got a
Anywho.
car. Got to have a car there.
We're just gonna give Molly like a Xanax and a glass of wine, and
I've-
she'll be
Took me
past
3
that.
Valium.
I tried telling her that that's what you got to do sometimes, and she's resistant. She'd rather spend 8 hours in a car. I don't get it.
Wow.
Molly, anything you want to put out there to the million listeners at home?
Summer concert series starts next week.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's big.
It's very big.
Every Thursday, all summer
And
long,
Tuesday.
and every Tuesday and Thursday, but every Thursday here in the Triangle at Chagrin Falls,
Yes.
a great show brought to you by a really good law firm and a really great chamber of commerce, and then every Tuesday it's at one of the neighboring communities.
We're doing one at the New Orange Pinecrest.
Ooh.
Oh.
The new shopping
You want
place.
to go to cvcc.org
Sure.
and check out that schedule.
Hopefully, I have all that information up. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
You know, where I will put in this plug, there's a bunch. If you are a business owner, Molly, this might apply to you. Do you have any European clients?
That's a great question. We have shot a few, not corporate clients, but we have.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
we do.
there's this new law that just went into effect on Friday, and the European Union is so strict about how you handle customer information, right? That if you violate this law, it's like the greater of $20 million or 4% of your annual revenue as a fine. It's
boy.
draconian. Yeah. So there's a blog on our website that is going up today. And if you want to learn about it, go there and just read about some of the other, like everyone here writes about legal issues and just gives it away. Just, you're a business owner, you want to know how to follow the law? Check it out, gertzberglaw.com. So go there and read about it.
Because you're all about
Saves
protecting
you.
them from actually having a loss.
We work to make ourselves obsolete.
There you go.
And I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that. All right, kids, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Later.
Bye-bye.